and looking ahead at the future for the program, which you started to mention. Wanted to ask you any returnees or particularly returnees or key players returning that you'd like to highlight a little bit with the program right now.
Well, you can't overstate having injuries come back, especially season-ending injuries. Two of those three injuries are going to be seniors this year, and they're both captains. So Rachel Wilson and Hope Cerny, having them return definitely is a big boost for the program in general, not just for what they can do on the field, but leadership, right, experience. And then Emily Ortega, she also tore her ACL, which was later on in the season. But having all three of them back helps a lot. They're like new recruits, basically.
Sure.
Even though we'll only have two of them for one more season. But in general, our returners, just having those returners for the huge clash of freshmen that we've got coming in, you've got to have them to be able to lean on, to be able to push them in the right direction, to be able to partner them up and say, okay, look, take this person under your wing and you've got to show them the ropes. You've got to give them all that guidance. You've got to talk them through and push them positively, because soccer's a grind. Going to school is a grind. Probably having a job is definitely a grind on top, and you've got to figure that out, and you need someone to help you. And I can't be there for everybody all the time. So having that comeback and experience from the returners is going to be huge.
Sure.
They need to be there for the incoming freshmen, just as returners were there for them when they were incoming freshmen.
Sure. We'll let you go here pretty quick. Wanted to ask a little bit more about you. And you're from England, and as people noticed, you have a great English accent. And could you could you tell us a little bit how you got to the area? I believe I saw you played collegiately in southeast Wisconsin, correct?
Yes, I did. So yeah, I'm from the northeast of England, what would be relatively small compared to American cities on the grand scale of things, called Grimsby. It's in the northeast of England. It's actually a major fishing hub for a lot of Europe.
Okay.
My wife can attest to that. So when she first came to visit Grimsby, there is one bridge that leads over what's called the River Humber, and it's the one way in from the airport. And as soon as you get to the top of that bridge, that's when the smell of fish hits you. And she knew we were there because of the smell. Yeah, you've never seen someone open a window so quick and look to bath, and trying to get some fresh air wherever possible, than what my wife did then. I forgot to mention it, to be honest with you, because I was looking forward to it. So I just quiet optimism of going home and having my now wife come and see it. But yeah, so Grimsby is a major fishing hub. It produces and catches a lot of fish for Europe. But when I was there, I decided I wanted to do something a little bit different than what everybody else was doing. All my friends, they just wanted to stay local or somewhere close to home. And I was like, nah, I'm getting out of here. I want to go see the world at least a little bit. And so, cut a long story short, Cardinal Stritch was the one program that never left me alone, and kept bugging me to come play. And I negotiated with them, so to speak, that my friend could come too, to make it that much easier. It just so happened that he could also play soccer too. But yeah, so I went to Stritch. I met my now wife there. I got a business management degree. Played my 4 years. We had some various levels of success, and we were ranked 23rd in the country for a couple of years in a row. We had a lot of really, really, really outstanding players on our team. We had a former Wales international player on our team at the younger levels, and then a guy who was under contract with Newcastle United, which is a top level Premier League team in England. But yeah, did the 4 years, and glad I did it. And when I left there, I went into the business world. Didn't really work out for me. I got let go pretty quickly because of the economy crashing. And so then I was like, well, I, as much as I want to be in that area, I can't sit at a desk all day, every day. It was driving me insane, ants in my pants all the time and up and down. And my boss was a little frustrated because I'd want to be up and about, with my headset on, talking to people, but
Sure.
just the way different people were, right?
Yeah.
And so when the economy crashed, I decided, well, I'm going to do something that I love. And I couldn't get away from playing the game or watching the game or being
Mhm.
around the game in general. So I was like, well, let's take this route. Let's go and try and be a soccer coach. And so for a few years, I was working full time, 40 hours a week during the day. Then I would coach club, I would coach part time college, and then part time high school. So high school, I was coaching girls, so then I could do the part-time college in the fall, part-time high school in the spring, and then coach club all year round. And doing that on top of working 40 hours a week, I wasn't in a healthy place, I can tell you that.
Sure.
I'm not the biggest guy in the world, but being a lot smaller than what I am, it definitely didn't look that great. And
Sure.
when full-time coaching came about, I jumped on it. And that led me to Black Hill State in South Dakota,
Mm.
and starting a Division II program, which a whole bunch of different challenges, starting a program at the Division II level in a conference that had the number 4 team in the country in that conference, Colorado School of Mines.
Yep.
We played them, phenomenal team,
Mm.
a phenomenal program. And if you've ever been out to that part of the country, a beautiful part of the country, Spearfish, South
Yeah.
Dakota, the
Mhm.
Black Hills, Mount Rushmore, and just in general,
Yep.
actually one of the ladies on the team, Amanda Buckler, who just did a Muskie, Instagram takeover for us. She's
Right.
not far from there, Sheridan,
Okay.
Wyoming, I want to say is
Yep.
4-hour drive, which in that part of the
Okay.
country is nothing.
That's
Um,
short there. Yeah.
right. But yeah, and so it came to a decision time for my wife in terms of did she want to live out in South Dakota.
Mm.
I'd been there 2 years living remotely, coming back from there every so often, and in season I wouldn't be home for like 3 months. And it hit home when she was like, no, I don't want to live in South Dakota. So it was an easy decision for me to say, okay, look, I love it out here and I love the challenge of building this program and going forward and growing and taking a squad of 25 freshmen. And now can we start to grow and build and have that balance and so on and so forth.
Mhm.
But coming home and now I have a 15-month-old son, it definitely benefits outweigh the negatives coming home, being here, being my wife, being with family, and now having a son, like I alluded to. And then I got lucky that Lakeland came up,
Mhm.
and I must have paid the right person to be able to get the position. So, um, and as we spoke about the challenge at Lakeland in Division III, and it took some time to get going. I'd never really had any experience with Division III. I'd always worked. Or been around scholarship situations.
Yep.
So it was easy enough to recruit student athletes and be like, okay, so your financial aid, your academic scholarships, and here's some extra money as well from athletics, right?
Right.
So that different challenge, and now I feel like I'm up and running, and I couldn't be happier at Lakeland. The commute some days is a pain in the butt, but I
Yeah.
look at it as a good thing for the most part. It gives me that time to be able to focus and get my head in the game on the way to work, and then on the way home, I can distress and not unload on my wife. There's still those
Yep.
days. Don't get me wrong, but
Sure.
it's a lot of time where I can jam out, talk things through in my head, even have
Uh,
recruit phone calls on the way home so that I don't have to
sure.
deal with my wife having to listen to that while also dealing with a 15-month-old and cooking dinner,
Mm.
yada yada yada.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely been a wild ride while I've been here
Yeah.
in the States. Am I fond of the snow? No, I can't stand the snow anymore. But we get on with it, right?
Yeah.
My mother and my brothers, they live in different parts of the world. I've got a brother in Dubai, and
Okay.
my mum and my middle brother, they're both back in England. But my
Mhm.
mum's been a traveler and loved to see that kind of thing, and it's it's been interesting for them to experience the snow, as we experience, and the winds and the cold and you name it, right? It's just something you
Mhm.
get used to. We don't like it, but when they first experienced it, it was definitely a shock for them.
Sure.
Now Nath, my youngest brother's in Dubai, and I'm jealous of his 90-degree weather almost every single day. But yeah, I wouldn't change things for the world in terms
Sure.
of my working relationships and Lakeland being there and having that opportunity, and now having these new challenges and
Yeah.
growing and learning from the challenges I've already had, and now trying to work with COVID and how do we make it so that we have a season and
Hmm.
yada yada yada. So,
Yeah. Couple quick potpourri questions before we let you go.
all right.
What would Coach Blake's favorite food be?
Oh, geez. We, my mom would make a really awesome Sunday roast.
Okay.
Whatever meat, so kind of like equivalent to a Thanksgiving dinner, but we would have them every Sunday. So
Okay.
whether it be turkey, beef, chicken, whatever, slap on all the vegetables, Yorkshire pudding,
Mm.
just all the fixings, lathered in gravy. Yeah, that's definitely my cup of tea right there.
Sure. Favorite movie?
Oh, see, my wife would probably look at me if I said anything less than I will watch movies every single day if I could. And if I had to really nail one down, my all-time favorite is the original Hook with Robin Williams.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I love that movie ever since I was a kid.
Yep.
Just something about being able to chant Rufio, Rufio, Rufio.
And one more. Do you follow professional soccer overseas? You have a favorite team that you follow of that at all?
Adam, I'll tell you this, right? My weekends when I'm not in season, I
Uh,
am glued to the TV watching pro soccer
okay.
from 6 a.m. in the morning all the way through the day.
Okay.
So yes,
Yeah.
I'm especially excited for the Bundesliga, the German league, to start this
Uh-huh.
weekend. But my team is Middlesbrough. They're
Okay.
in the what's called the Championship, so the second tier in England.
Uh-huh.
But I just love watching the English game more than any other.
Uh-huh. Sure.
Yeah.
And Coach Blake has even introduced us to some good music from over there before our matches at Lakeland and that. So we recognize him as
Yes.
authority on the subject. So well, Coach, I think that'll do it. So
Awesome.
thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate your time and continued luck working at home and navigating as we hope for everybody to return to normal. And in the meantime, enjoy the time at home.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you for putting up my accent. If you got any words you need to be like, what did he mean? What did he say?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can reach out. But yes, thank you. This has been a blast.
Yeah.